Today on Cars the Big Boy Drive, it's all about the Mobius 3, a giant leap in the Kenyan dream of having our own car, and it's right here on Cars the Big Boy Drive. We are privileged and the first to give you the review. So in this review, we're going to take you through how it looks, how it performs, practicality, safety, and of course the value for money proposition. You do not want to miss that. So first things first, let's take a look at the design phase of this Mobius 3. Now we start this particular review by taking a look at the design phase of the Mobius 3, and I can tell you, my oh my, it looks butch. Look at that clamshell bonnet wrapping around all the way to the front profile of the car. The letters Mobius emblazoned on it, and of course this wraparound rectangular headlamps, projector type. So it means driving at night is not an issue in the Mobius. You're able to illuminate the road and adjust the beams easily because it has that particular feature. So driving this particular car at night is a dream. And of course, during the day, you got daytime running lights coming in as standard in this particular variant. So how cool is that? Who would have thought Mobius would do DRLs? Who? Well, there's always a first. It's right here on Cars the Big Boy Drive, so we're pretty happy to host this particular vehicle. So on the lower part of this particular vehicle, as you can see, the bumper is color-coded, coordinating with the top color. And of course, on the lower part, you do have this honeycomb grille. This is where the intercooler of the turbo that's inside the engine is placed so that it receives and gets cool air. It's called charge air cooling. And obviously, as you can see, the lip, the bumper has this different color. So you do have toe hooks with orange toes, just give it that je ne sais quoi. And of course, right below it, it allows this car to have an approach angle of 37 degrees. Approach is when you approach the end and start inclining on a hill or a descent. 37 degrees. So that angle allows this car to have great off-road capabilities, which you're going to find out much later. So apart from that, the angular design of the bumper plus the grille and the lower part gives this car that butch look that we all love. But how good is the side? Let's move to the side and have a look at the design of the Mobius 3. Moving over to the side profile, again, you've got that typical 3-box layout that you probably find in many SUVs around town. But again, the prominence. Why does it look butch? Because of this big fender. It's bulging out. It's like a bulldog, you know, a bulldog. You can see the shoulders coming out. Looks exactly like this. And of course, coming down all the way to this plastic cladding that gives this car some je ne sais quoi. Well, in Kenya, je ne sais quoi means, hey, what does je ne sais quoi mean? Something unique. Kitu kali. Thank you. Now, anyway, guys, listen to this. When it comes to the design aspect of this particular vehicle, the side profile again denotes that this car has been well designed. So it's a proper utilitarian vehicle. So you'll see, look at this classic old school hinges that are placed outside. Not that they don't want to design it, but it's just a look and feel. It's a different feel from what you probably find with a standard SUV. So this one gives this car that aggressive look. You can even see the rivets that are outside. Again, well designed, well thought out of, and of course you have this side step, which is actually, it's got some stainless steel, which allows you to actually climb up. Remember, we are in the political season. Remember. So if you're a Mheshimiwa and you want to showcase that you love Kenya, perhaps this is the car for you. I'm just saying, you know, politicians love SUVs, aggressive looking ones, and perhaps the Mobius might be the one for you. Now, as you can see, there's that haunch line that runs across from the bonnet and runs all the way to the lower hip line, all the way to the back. You can see that line. So, well designed. Even the panels have been stamped properly. It means that the fit and finish is fantastic. Now, rear third, look at this blacked out panel. Now, in case you wonder what this blacked out panel is, this particular vehicle, you can actually remove the roof. I'm going to show you that later. Now, the roof is detachable so that it allows you to enjoy the cool air. If you're driving to Mombasa and you want to feel the atmosphere, the sun, I mean, this is the car for you. And of course, the blacked out part gives this car a two-tone commonality. You've seen that with the latest SUVs currently. So this one is well thought out, and of course just gives this car that look usafi. Before we move to the back, let's take a look at the wheel size. So these particular wheels are 16 by 65 by 265. So it gives you ample ground clearance, and the tires absorb all the road imperfections quite easily. Coupled with the ground clearance, which is amazing, 221 millimeters. That is enough to take you to any form of bundus. If you're in Nairobi or environs, if you're in Kitengela, if you're in Rongai, if you want to go bundu bashing for Rhino Charge, perhaps this is the car for you, because the ground clearance will allow you to, you know, navigate the different terrains of the country. So I mean, this is the perfect vehicle for that explorer. We've seen the different clubs that are available in town. The Land Cruiser Club, the Land Rover Club. This one will have its own club, the Mobius Club, and I can tell you, it's going to be built of enthusiasts who love the product and be able to go through the different parts of the country to showcase the 4x4 capabilities, which are going to show you much later. Let's move to the back now. All right, now moving over to the back, this is where matters become very interesting, because this is where the design elements converge to give you that look. Still retains the butch look, and as you can see, the two-tone commonality, the black and the blue. Again, the color coordination is just but amazing, and that is standard across the range. So all Mobiuses will have that same particular look. Now, to complement that, you do have this tailgate boot, as you can see here. Still the standard 16 by 225 by 65. Again, very good, and they're all-terrain tires, so you can literally go anywhere with it. Low road noise, ability to channel water, mud away to give you maximum grip as you drive along our beautiful country of Kenya. That is just part and parcel of the story. The design aspect is fantastic. It looks good, it's butch, and of course it just gives you that feeling that you're driving a really tough car. But how does it look inside? Is it comfortable? Is it spacious? Is it practical? What are the new technologies that are inside this particular cabin? Let's step inside and have a look at the cabin of the Mobius 3. So you've seen from the walk around the design perspective of the Mobius 3. It looks tough, it looks butch, and of course looks the part. But the question is, how good is the cabin? So step inside and have a look at the cabin of this particular vehicle, and I can tell you, and I can report one-on-one, this particular vehicle has been designed properly. Look at the dash. I can tell you the forward cab design of the dashboard allows you to have plenty of space. So the front passengers have a lot of space between the driver and the passenger, the dashboard, allowing this car to have room. And of course, now as you can see, no bald men know better. You can see there's no the detachable roof allows you to enjoy the cool climate of Nairobi. Right now we're in Limuru and we're enjoying every bit of the sunshine. So I can tell you the way the vehicle feels airy, feels spacious, and of course everybody would love a long trip in the Mobius 3. Now the highlight of this particular dashboard is the design. Now the design has air style vents, circular ones of course, textured so that you rotate it and locks, allows air to come in and out of the vents. And of course the highlight of this design is this floating style tablet. It's 10 inches, full HD, high resolution, that allows you to explore the different aspects of the vehicle. So if I press this one, it will give me media access. When I talk about media access, I'm able to listen to radio, of course, able to stream your music via Bluetooth or USB port, and of course different aspects of the vehicle can be controlled using this touch sensitive screen. Okay, so moving over to the lower part, the gearbox section, this particular section looks very premium. Now of course it's finished in piano black, and of course the trimming on the side, there is a chrome finish around the gearbox, and of course some stainless steel that runs across all the way to the center console, making this car look good. Remember, this particular vehicle is built to the buyers who are actually spending 4 to 5 million shillings on an SUV, an 8-year-old SUV. So Mobius, what I've done is to come up with a product that is still premium and affordable, and of course gives them value for money. Now the gearbox, as you can see here, it's a gated shift. It's actually a ZF 6-speed automatic with Tiptronic functionality. It allows you to explore the full potential of the engine, and of course also modulates the 4x4 system. So traction control is embedded into the system just to give you maximum control and grip at any given surface. As you can see, big boy, it's quite comfortable. I am 6'1". This chair is set to my height, and I can tell you, legroom is fantastic, headroom is good. I mean, I enjoy the different seats. It's very supportive, doesn't feel like it's very thin cushioning. It's actually lumbar supportive, very good for long distance, and of course I enjoy every single bit of this particular vehicle. But that is just a third of the story. Let's jump to the back seat and see the practicality of the Mobius 3. Moving over to the back now, as you can see, Mr. Lamenya is very comfortable in the rear seat. The seats are not like a bench, they're actually adjustable, and there's so much space. Headroom, 6'1". I'm still tall and I can fit quite comfortably here. And of course the legroom is good, because remember, this seat was set to my height when I was in front. I've not moved the chair. It shows you how much space the Mobius 3 has. So it sits 3 people very comfortably, and of course the one thing I like, the tunnel, it's sit very low, so there's room for 3 people, so you don't need to squeeze and put one leg here, the other one here. No, it's there. There's plenty of space, and of course the seats are supportive. You do have headrests which are very good for whiplash protection during emergencies or when the vehicle is on a roll. I like the fact that they are actually roll bars, because this particular is a roll bar, so in case of a rollover, and this is an SUV, the occupants remain safe while in the Mobius. Speaking of that, you also have ISOFIX anchors, so if you have a child seat or 2 child seats, you're able to fix them here and the baby can be secured. And remember, for any baby or any child who's below 12 years old, the best place to fit the child seat is at the back. And if you have a vehicle which has isofix anchors, it's the best place where you can safely protect your baby while in the Mobius or any other vehicle, because the safety aspect of the vehicle has been designed where kids are at the back. So 3-point safety belts are standard, of course, and one of the things I do like about this particular cabin is the practicality aspect. So you have detachable doors, yes, but they've not left out practicality. You have airline style pockets in front, so you can put your iPad or your phone right here or here. It's very easy to do that. You have AC vents that actually waft out cold air or warm air depending on where you are in the country. So if you're in Limuru, obviously it's going to be warm air. If you're in Mombasa, it's going to waft out cold air, so and you're able to redirect the vents towards your face and you feel cold. Of course, you do have there's actually a blank socket here for a full-size electrical socket. That is something that is coming as an optional extra in the Mobius. But other than that, the practicality aspect of this car is fantastic. I like the fact that they've actually used this type of door handles. It's very nice. I like it. It's really cool and it's very practical. So everybody will enjoy it. But if you're only sitting 2 people, then you can retract the armrests to reveal 2 cup holders. So driving to Mombasa, you have your cold drink there, enjoying the music, beautiful music and the country, and the sunroof is up and about. I can tell you, great moments and great journeys in the Mobius begin with the journey with this Mobius 3. So let's move to the back side, to the luggage area, to see the capacity. Let's go to the boot of the Mobius. So you open the tailgate, it splits into 2 actually, and it reveals the largest space for any car of its category in its class. So you have roughly about 560 liters of boot space with the rear seats folded up. So you can carry roughly 5 large suitcases, or in Kenyan terms, 5 gunias of nyanyas, vitungus. If you're doing road trips, that kind of thing, there's plenty of space. But if you put the seats down, it reveals another 500 liters. So you have an extremely flat floor that you can actually carry large stuff, if you're moving house or even carrying stuff that is just not regular size. Again, you can put the seats down and it splits 60-40. So again, practicality here is so good that I think Mobius have actually hit the nail. Do you actually need a 7-seater SUV? That's a question I'm going to answer later on. But it's time for us to get behind the wheel of this particular Mobius, because that's the place I love. I want to feel the power, the torque, the diesel derivative, the turbo petrol. Which is best? Let's jump to the driver's seat and feel the power of the Mobius 3. So guys, we've just seen from the walk around the design perspective of the Mobius 3. It looks good, it's butch, but now the question is, how does it handle on the road? So I've taken the car just outside Nairobi on the famous Kiambu Ring. Now we love this particular section of the country because it's got very good winding roads. We can test the suspension, the handling, noise, vibration and harshness, and of course we want to take it off-road to one of the tea farms just to feel the capabilities of the 4x4 hardware. So we start by taking a look at the engine. So if you're looking at buying a Mobius 3, it comes in 2 engine derivatives. So the first one, which many people would love, is a 2-liter turbo petrol that produces 165 kilowatts and 370 newton meters of torque that is sent to the 4 wheels courtesy of a 6-speed ZF gearbox. Now I can tell you that combination is a dream made from heaven. Very smooth, very precise, and I'm going to show you right now how the car feels. But for those who deserve and love the manual feeling, then you are in luck. So you have a 2-liter turbo diesel that produces 110 kilowatts and 350 newton meters of torque that is sent again to the 4 wheels courtesy of a 6-speed manual transmission. And of course the revs, it revs very low. You can get maximum peak power from around 1750 RPM and boosts all the way to about 3000 RPM. So the band is fantastic. It allows you to explore the full potential of the engine. And of course, in terms of fuel consumption, this particular diesel engine will give you 8.1 liters per 100 kilometers on a combined cycle. This is a claimed figure, So it also depends on the load, on the weight of the vehicle, the condition of the vehicle if you've been servicing a lot. And for the petrol, you have about 10.1 liters per 100 kilometers, which is not too bad. Now, let's talk about the handling. How does this car feel on the road? So on road, on tarmac, which a lot of people will normally enjoy, you probably get to enjoy the Mobius 3 quite often because in front or up front, it's got double wishbones. Now, double wishbones are fantastic to ensure that the front end is planted to give you very good road holding manners. And of course, at the back, you do have a 5-link rigid suspension system that now, working in tandem on tarmac, allows all the foils to be planted at any given time. Plus, it just exhibits good on-road manners. This is not a sports car, but it handles extremely decently, coupled with the hardened suspension, because remember, Mobius have actually tested this car for thousands of kilometers. If I can remember the correct figure, it's over 100,000 kilometers tested on our roads to ensure that it meets and exceeds all the expectations of a decent 4x4. So again, this is a car that is built for this Kenya, this region, and of course will give you all the benefits of driving it on road. But in terms of safety, this is a critical aspect of this particular segment. So the Mobius 3 comes with a repertoire of safety equipment to ensure that you and your passengers remain safe. So obviously, when you talk about active safety, it's all the equipment that are put in the vehicle to prevent you from having an accident. Now, anti-lock braking system comes as standard, and of course, brake assist, electronic brake force distribution, and ESP that comes as standard in this particular vehicle. But in case all hell breaks loose, then you can rely on the sturdy chassis. The passenger cell has been hardened to withstand impact, and of course, it's got a very good safety level. Obviously, being tested quite a lot. It's very good in terms of passive safety. You've got airbags, you've got reinforced side door panels, and of course, the ring structure around the passenger cell that dissipates impact energy away from the cabin to ensure that you and your passengers remain safe at any given time. Plus roll bars all across. I mean, this car is very, very good. So, word of caution, always remember that this is an SUV, so you have to drive with caution. It's not a sports car, so you have to observe the limits. Because of the high center of gravity, you have to drive this car very, knowing the fact that you cannot take very sharp bends. It's an SUV, it's standard operating procedure for all SUVs. So that is basically what the Mobius 3 is all about. So comfort, performance, style, efficiency, and now it's time for us to take it off-road and feel the capabilities of this 4x4 system. Can the 4x4 system, which is switch on the fly, be able to handle our Kenyan terrain? How does it cope on mud, on rut, on sand? Does it have good ground clearance? We're going to find out later on Kazi Big Boy Trek. So guys, we just stepped out of the tarmac into the beaten track, and this simulates what a typical Kenyan road is. So Africa is blessed with vast land, so the type of surfaces we have are varied from mud, rut, sand, rock. This particular vehicle has been built and tested to withstand this kind of road. So the Mobius 3, what makes it a proper off-roader? These are the ingredients. Number one, a very strong chassis. So the box ladder chassis that's available on this particular vehicle has been designed to take on the impact and torsion rigidity to ensure that the vehicle remains planted. All four wheels are planted on the road. Number two, the suspension. So up front you do have double wishbones, and at the back you do have rigid 5-link coil spring that allows this car to have very good on-road and off-road capabilities. Of course, the suspension, the work is to insulate the interior from absorbing all the undulations. Number two, it is to provide comfort, to ensure the wheels are firmly planted on the ground to ensure that grip is available. So the long torque suspension actually allows this car to have a very good ride even on such a bad road like this one. It's not the best, it's Maram, but I can hardly feel the imperfections because it is soaking up every single aspect of this particular vehicle. Number three, the hardware. Now the 4x4 system on this particular vehicle is electronic, part-time 4-wheel drive. So you can shift on the fly up to 60 kilometers an hour. So for the purpose of demonstration, I have actually adjusted this particular vehicle to 4 high so that I have maximum traction. It just ran recently on this patch, so it's good for me to have just good ample traction. So I've switched on that, and I can tell you the vehicle feels very good. Remember, they tested this car for close to 250,000 kilometers before even releasing it to the market. So the Mobius 3 has been well thought out. Of course, the suspension has been hardened on specific points, the cross members, the anchor points where you normally put the suspension, even the coil springs, even the bushes, just to give you that longevity when you're driving such a vehicle, you just want a vehicle that will just give you, the reassurance, the grip that you are driving a proper off-roader. So whatever you are, if you're going to your shamba or going up country or attending, a rhino charge, perhaps the Mobius 3 is the car for you. So what do you reckon? Do you reckon this particular vehicle will be able to fight out with the big boys? Send us your thoughts as seen on the social media handles below. But before I go, it's time for us to do value for money. Do you reckon this particular vehicle will give you the absolute value for money? Should you buy that Toyota Prado? Should you buy that Fortuner? Let's go for value for money. So guys, that is it. This has been the extreme review of the Mobius 3. It's tough, looks good, very capable in terms on and off-road, and of course very fuel efficient yet peppy engines. So that is a recipe for a proper SUV, and we are proud to be Kenyans that this particular vehicle is made here in Kenya by Mobius Motors. But the biggest question still remains, what is the value for money proposition? We're going to start with the price. Now, this particular vehicle comes at an introductory offer of 4.5 million Kenya shillings. Now, it actually comes with a 3-year, 60,000 kilometer warranty, and you can rely on the extensive network that Mobius Motors has created across the country to ensure that your Mobius is kept in tip-top conditions. Not only that, asset financing is available from your local bank, so please make sure that you visit Mobius Motors along Samia Park, and they'll be able to give you details. If you want a test drive, please just say CBBT sent you, and you'll be able to get a test drive of this magnificent product. I know people are asking, what is the maintenance plan of this particular vehicle? So for minor service, for both petrol and diesel, minor service will cost you exactly 12,500 plus VAT, and it's actually done after every 8,000 kilometers. And of course, if you do the big one, the major one, it's done after every 30,000 kilometers, and it will cost you roughly 25,000 shillings plus VAT. So again, they've just made sure that the pricing is fantastic, and it fights within the category of vehicles that are within this space. Now, this car, we all know it exists in a space where there's so much competition. Who are the key rivals in this segment? So bear with me. This particular vehicle is not only targeted at the new car buyer, it's also targeted at the people who are buying SUVs from Japan, second-hand or grey import. So if you're buying in a Toyota Fortuner or a vehicle that is within that category, then perhaps this is the car for you. So we do have the Toyota Fortuner, the Toyota Prado, and of course the Ford Everest and many others that are in this category. But the biggest competitor is the Jeep Wrangler, and they're all coming in as second-hand at the moment because we do not have a local dealer for Jeep. So you can get this amazing product courtesy of Mobius Motors for the best value, best bargain you can ever think of. So guys, that is it. Thank you so much for joining us on this first edition of Cars with Big Boy Tech. If you have any questions, comments or queries, do not hesitate to write to us as seen on the social media handles below. We'll get back to you with the feedback next week. So do you reckon the Mobius 3 is the car for you? Send us your thoughts. So until next week, drive safe and be safe.